Alright, hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So I'm getting ready to set up a few rabbit snares or snowshoe hare snares. I got a few here that are pre-cut. So this here is a good spot. I'll show you there's lots of tracks. I had spotted the area before because I cut a few trees here for firewood. And I seen there's lots of tracks. And when I fall trees, the top branches stay there, and that's really good bait for rabbits. They like to eat the buds, eh? So you'll see over there's some piles of branches that I cut maybe a few weeks ago. So you'll see there'll be lots of tracks. So let's go, and then I'll show you the tracks, and then we'll find good spots to set up the actual wire snares. Kind of doing a outdoor family day. It's a beautiful day, lots of snow. So right here, lots of tracks. Alright, so that's what I'm looking for. Those are the back legs, and that's the front legs. So with the hares, when you see the hind legs are actually in the front when they land. So he was traveling this way, going that way. Then he crossed, went over here. Lots of tracks. And see, here is a pile of branches from a birch tree that I cut. You can see they're coming in, and they're really eating those twigs. I'll show you here. So that you can see been eaten from the rabbits, and those are just the little rabbit poops. So any trail that's really coming in and out of these twig piles will be good. So let's find a good trail, set the first snare. Okay, so the twigs were over there. You follow these tracks, so he hop here, hop there, then he's going under that conifer there. That right there is going to be a really good spot because it's going to be shaded as well. It's a little bit darker. He'll have a harder time seeing my snare, and it's nice and closed. So the only spot he's passing is there. I got a good tree here to attach the wire to. So I'll leave the camera right here, go around. I don't know if you'll see with the camera, but what I like to do first, because you can see how this wire here right now, it's just been in my pocket, so it's all like twisted and bumpy. So what you want to do is what my dad showed me. So you want to put it on a tree and rub it like this. This is kind of the master secret, because if you see people who don't really know what they're doing, their snares will be all crooked and bumpy. But when you do this, you kind of just rub it on the tree like that, and then it gets really nice and smooth. And then from here, for your size, you can always go a little bit bigger, but it's basically your fist is the size of the rabbit's head. So if you go a little bit bigger, you have more chance of catching him, but you also have more chance of catching him not around the neck, but more around the belly area. So you don't necessarily want that. And then I like to have this piece, so the little loop, I like to have it on the bottom side, but you could also have it on the top side. And then for height from the trail, I'm going for about a hand. So my 4 fingers. So that's about 3 or 4 inches. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tie it on the tree. Ideally, around the tree, you want to go like a couple loops around, like that. See if I can get this thing straight. Because you don't want it to be able to twist. Just gonna set this one up and kind of show you more on a different one. So once I go around the tree twice with my the end of my snare, my wire, I go around lots of times, because sometimes if you catch a big one, then sometimes they're able to break it or get it untangled. So you want to have lots of loops. So the rabbit's gonna come head here. So I'm not quite in the middle of his trail. So what I'm gonna do, this one, I'm gonna put a little branch. Gonna add up a little branch here, just on this side, to force him to go more so that way. So I'm pretty happy with that right now. So I think that's good. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. So I got 2 loops here. Zoom in for you just to show you. It was my my wire. I got 2 loops, which makes it solid and it doesn't move around. So that's good. I got this around here. Perfect. I think that's good. Now I'm gonna exit the area without exit here without breaking his trail. So when I came in, I walked over his trail, but I didn't walk in it. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna walk out. Oops, forgot my gloves. Less of a disturbed area as possible. Some branches I had cut when I gathered the birch trees. You can see it's just crazy how many tracks there are all over the place. They've been in here eating, sitting kind of thing. Lots of little poops. So where they're actually eating, it's not so good of a spot. It's good spots is in between where they eat and then where they rest or where they hide. So the trails that they're using to come in and out of the feeding area, those are the best spots to put your snares. A couple nice spots over here that I can see. Okay, so I'm putting my wire here, just rubbing it like that on here. And this makes my my wire nice and straight. Loop it around, get it in here. Go for about a fist size. I'll go a little bit bigger. And this one I'm going to tie off the top here. Looks good. So I want it to come down off of this branch about a hand height. So like I said, about 3-4 inches. Do a few loops here onto this tree. Make sure that it doesn't move around. Key is to have it nice and tight. on your branch that it's holding off of. But that's the difficult kind of part because your hands are cold, freezing. It's -10 today. Not too cold, but barehanded like this makes it chilly. Used to do these a lot when I was in college. With my friends, I showed them how to do this. There you go, that's pretty good. Kind of put branches in the way there. Fell. Open it up a bit. So what I'm doing now is just this horizontal where I put my snare. It's pretty small and flimsy, so I'm breaking a couple of Y branches. I'm just gonna plant them on each side, just like that, so that it'll solidify this horizontal. Make sure it does. You can't really walk away with it. Well, this one's pretty good there. Perfect. So I got my Y stick helping the horizontal hold. Got the horizontal. Got the snare right there, round loop. Perfect. And I got my other Y there, really solid. My wife saw a good spot, so we're just walking down the trail a bit that way and set another one. What's really fun and interesting about trapping, that you really got to know and learn the habits of the wildlife, the animals, because 80% of trapping is the location of the trap, and the trap and the setup itself is pretty much 20%. There's a decent trail here.
C'est quoi la différence avec ce wire-là?
Plus épais.
Ok, j'aurais dit.
So I'm trying this wire here, but it's like it's a stainless steel instead of a brass, and it's supposed to be the same gauge, so the same size. It's got to be smaller than 20 gauge. I think these are 22 gauge, but it's supposed to be the same size as the brass, but it's a lot stiffer, and I can't really shape it how I want it. But anyways, we'll leave it like that and then hope for the best. I'm just gonna use the brass wire is what I would usually use. Yeah, so I got a snare there, but I don't like it because it's stainless steel, but I just noticed the track goes in as a Y there, and then it funnels down And then I got a nice spot there underneath that branch to put another one. So that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go set one up right over here. I think either under here will be ideal, right underneath here. My loop here in about fist size, slightly bigger. I do not have huge hands, so I can go a little bit bigger like that. Looks good. Put it underneath here. Put it kind of right here, angled that way. Yeah, any kind of trapping, you want to disturb the least possible the area that where you're putting your traps. So you try to avoid like smoking or peeing or eating. But I mean, hares are a very beginner, kind of easier animal to catch. They're a good type of thing to practice, but you still try to do the regular things that you would want to do for any kind of animal. See how that shape's nice, that brass? So that looks perfect. Really see the tracks, and then that snare that is right there. Right, really nice trail here too, under the evergreens. So I'm going to set it up right off of that branch loop. Perfect. Around and rub it. So I rub my wire to give it what they call in rope craft is memory. So give it the memory of the shape, and then see how now it's nice and round. Now you want to keep it that way. And the key in trapping or even survival trapping, and what I don't see mentioned in a lot of books, is that actually there's one book that mentions it, but is that your success rate with only a few traps will never be that great. So you don't want to be setting up 2-3 traps. If you want real success and be able to kind of live or survive off of what you're eating or trapping, you want to set up lots and lots and lots of traps, like hundreds, 100 or 200 traps at least. You'll be able to, because you're never going to catch one in each trap that you set out. You might catch eventually one in a trap that you set out, but it's going to take a lot of days. Could take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days before the animal comes back. So the hardest part is to put them right where you want them and make sure that they're nice, tight on the tree, and that they're the right height, right dimension. So why do you want it tight on this tree here? Is that if your animal comes in, puts his head in, as he pushes that tension, what's going to happen is it wants that to stay in the one place, on the tree. So what's gonna happen is this, I'll tighten. But if you're not tight on the tree, then what's gonna happen is instead of being anchored in place, it's gonna move on the tree and turn instead of closing. And then that gives the chance for the animal to escape. Gonna add a little branch like that, kind of force him to go right there. But technically that's already where he's going, so you don't need to block off, like do a big fence or anything.
Okay.
That's good. A few loops on the tree, nice round shape, circular, and my loop is on the bottom side. Alright, this is the same snare that I just set up, just to give you a different perspective. His trail, he hops around, and then that is where it's kind of hard to focus with all these branches, but there's the loop there. And that's on the other side of the trail. It goes in that way. I could even put another one there if I wanted to. Another one set up right there, attached to the birch tree. Look at this tree here, eh? Aspen. Hares really like to eat aspen. You can see how they really ate it up and chewing on it, and lots of tracks in and out of this spot to come and chew on this branch, eh? This tree. See if I can't see any. It's not really any good spots to really set up a snare, except maybe down that hill just right there. Maybe off that little tree there. I could set one up right here. Yep, that's where it's gonna go.
Yeah. Maman, fais attention. On va-tu manger une collation?
Making some soup. Perfect.
C'est bon ça? Oui? As-tu froid un petit peu? Non? Merci mon amour. C'est gentil.
Alright, so we built, like you can see, a long fire. We didn't bring an axe or a saw, but we were just able to break off some branches that were dry. The soup's boiling now for 5 minutes, so we'll have a little bit of soup. We put a total of 10 rabbit snares, so we'll see. We'll come back tomorrow and see what we caught. If we did catch anything. Snowshoe hares are nocturnal, so they're going to be active tonight, and we should catch some during the night. So I'll come back tomorrow morning, but this will be the end of this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Me, my son Charles and Isabel had a good time, good day out. have some fresh air, and show you guys. Hopefully, you guys learned something and you enjoyed the video. So thanks again. Have a good one, and Merry Christmas. We're December 22nd today. Woo! Christmas almost here. So cheers, guys. Bye.